Hi folks, me again. I've now been asked to do something about inappropriate thoughts, and this is my attempt. I'm feeling a bit tired now, so I'm sorry if I'm looking a bit draggled. Okay, inappropriate thoughts, how are they caused? Inappropriate thoughts are part of the anxiety response. When we go into fight or flight, as I said on one of the other videos, we go through some kind of checklist. It's a risk assessment basically based on the fear that we're encountering. So say for example we're driving along the road late at night and you see a car overturned on the road and you jump out, you're on your own, and there are two people trapped inside the car shouting for help. Now immediately you go into the flight or fight mode. You know that you're not going to fight, you know that you're not going to flee, but you need to do some problem solving. And all the time that your adrenaline is pumping and your brain is preparing the body for action of some sort, there are decisions being made in your subconscious mind, and very quickly rhetorical questions are being asked of your mind that ask things like, what if I go up and try and drag these people out and the car explodes? What if I can only save one of them? Where can I find a big enough stick to break the window? Can I kick the window in? What happens if one of them dies? Or what happens if... All these what-if questions that are meant as a risk assessment for the situation at hand. I'm sure you understand that. So, let's move on. Okay, inappropriate thoughts. A lot of people say to me that they have strange thoughts about, for example, being something. I feel like I'm a dog. I've got this thought that I'm a dog. Other people, and that sounds very strange, but it's true, people do say this. Other people have OCD type things, like, for example, checking behind stamps, that they haven't sealed somebody behind the stamp. Or maybe they have the thought that when they walk through a shop they've hurt somebody as they walk past them. Then you have the people that have inappropriate thoughts like, what if I harm myself? Or what if I harm somebody else? What if I do something inappropriate sexually to somebody? And sometimes in your mind's eye, anxious people can, with these inappropriate thoughts, can think they can see themselves doing these things. And it spooks them, it makes them scared, it makes them worry. It makes them think that perhaps they've got some kind of psychotic illness, or that they're going to murder somebody, or awful things like that. Now, in normal life, we have these thoughts too, but we just don't give them any attention. For example, I don't know whether you've ever experienced it, people talk about this a lot, that thought when you stand on the top of a tall building and look down, and you think, oh, should I jump? Could I jump? And there's this sense of almost wanting to jump. It's the same when you walk past a sharp knife in the kitchen and you see it and you imagine yourself cutting yourself on it, or you walk past an open window and you imagine throwing yourself out. These thoughts are appropriate what-if thoughts. They're based on what's at hand. And people who have inappropriate thoughts about harming their children, for example, which is a very, very common one, it's because they look around the room, they're in an anxiety state because they have an anxiety disorder, and they look around the room and they see whatever's to hand. Their children might be sat there watching the television. So the thought is focused on that particular situation. What if I harm my children? What if I do this? What if I do that? The same with other people. I used to stand next to people and imagine myself punching them, for example. I knew I never would. You're not going to carry out these actions, but the thought process goes through your head and it makes you fearful that you're losing your mind or that there's something else wrong with you. Now I'm here to tell you that there's nothing else wrong with you. These thoughts, as inappropriate as they are in terms of their content, are appropriate in terms of your level of anxiety. So your mind is constantly searching for things in your vicinity that they can attach the anxious thoughts to. And so when you see something like a knife, or when you see a person, you might think, I'm going to stab them, I'm going to hurt them, I'm going to punch them. It doesn't mean you're going to do them, they're just inappropriate anxious thoughts. And they're part of this self-defense mechanism, the fight or flight mechanism, and they're part of the what-if thoughts, the thoughts of catastrophic thinking. And catastrophic thinking means, what is the worst case scenario? I'm sat here with my children. And your mind saying, what is the worst case scenario? That I kill my kids. And your mind feeds that to you, and the instant that happens, the anxiety response starts. And you think, oh my God, I'm going mad, I want to kill my children. That's not the case. Do you understand what this means? This means that all of those thoughts are sparked by, that the catalyst is the anxious response. and nothing psychotic or nothing awful about you or your personality. And these can get, sometimes people can think that they've got some kind of paranoia or mental illness. No. These are anxious thoughts. Inappropriate anxious thoughts, but appropriate to your level of anxiety. So when you get them next time, divert away from them. Just don't give them any credibility. What we need to focus on here is removing the subconscious anxious habit that fuels your anxiety in the first place, that fuels these inappropriate thoughts, that fuel the inappropriate OCD thoughts, the obsessions, the compulsions that you experience. Let's get rid of that. Target the inappropriate anxiety levels deep within you, get rid of those, and in turn OCD, inappropriate thoughts, all of the physical and the mental manifestations of your anxiety will fade away. It's that simple. And it's doable. And I stand here as testament to that, because I am completely anxiety free from somebody with chronic OCD, with horrible inappropriate thoughts. I'm standing here completely anxiety free, and my clients are also testament to this, because you can cure anxiety and you can get rid of these irrational, inappropriate thoughts. I've waffled. I don't know what else to say to you to convince you that these inappropriate thoughts are completely appropriate to your anxiety. I can't think of any other way to explain the situation. I hope it's made sense, and I hope that you can make sense of these thoughts and finally do something that tackles your inappropriate anxiety. Signing off again. Anybody else got any questions? Contact us through www.stopworry.com, or you can contact me through YouTube or any other means to ask for any more videos that might be useful to you, to explain things from my point of view. So I'll say goodbye.